This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right? Let me read that in the NLT. So that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Koholoam La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Okakodash. The blindness of the elders and apostles, a great millstone, who well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad. I can Aquat that's listening in. Yahweh Rat Zalo willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shabab Mwam back at you with another lesson. And you see the title, all right, which is the topic that I'm about to go into. All right. And pretty much Spirit jumped on me after watching a bunch of videos on TikTok talking about that topic. And again, as we continue to always tell you, all roads are going to lead to that Rice Krispy treat. All right. And I'm going to play a couple videos, and then I'll go into some scriptures. Salaki, I didn't get to go out. I was actually on the highways and hedges today, but before I started teaching, the Lord put the spirit on me to just stop what I was doing, and I never got to do it because there was a whole lot of police where I was at, where I teach at. There was a whole lot of police around there, and they were actually parked where I park at all the time, and I park in the cut. So when I seen that, I had to think about it for a while. We got to use wisdom, So I realized that the last couple of times I was teaching, people had an eye on me. So I don't know if he was there for, to watch me. They could park the car there and record, just seeing me come out the car, get to see what I look like coming out the car, see what my car looks like, take my license plate, but as I left, I see the guy actually come out from wherever he was at, the cop, and he got into his car. And then as I left that actual parking lot, I realized there was so many damn cops around inside that parking lot, walking around, parked in different corners, different sides. So, hey, through the spirit, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai probably, took me out of that spot for a second so I didn't get caught up, in any nonsense. Remember, we have to be circumspect, redeeming the times because the days are evil. So, sometimes we might get upset because something didn't fall in our way, or plan, go as planned, but Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah protects us, you know what I'm saying? So I feel through the spirit, the Lord was actually protecting me from being out there today, And then when I got home, power got cut off over here. I'm the only one without power right now because Satan jumped on the landlord and he did some dumb shit and cut off our power, not intentionally or nothing like that, but they cut off the power because of some mistake that went down on his end, and somehow we're paying for it. Not paying for it like that, meaning like our power ended up getting cut off, but it'll be turned on in the morning. So it was just a whole bunch of nonsense and drama right now. So Salaki, I got out, to do the video late night. But I actually was also caught up in Chat GBT, which man, that's a dangerous app right there. You can get lost in there, and I was asking a lot of questions, about basically these digital IDs and going into the MOTB and all that, and it was revealing a lot of things onto me. You just got to know how to talk to it, and you got to know how to play with it, because it tries to go around the bush with a lot of answers. But then you can basically let them know the app itself that they pretty much contradicting themselves. And yeah, that was insane. That's why I'm out here now. I got a little lost in there for a second. I wish I had actual, power, so I could have did what I was doing, all the research I was doing in there. I would have did my lesson in the house, but just a whole bunch of nonsense. But anyway, moving forward. All right, so let's read this again. All right, 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan get an advantage of us, right? For we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay, and you know, in these times, this devil has all types of different schemes. All right, so let's play a couple of these videos I ran into, and then I'll go into some scriptures. All right, this is going into TikTok. All right, just play a couple of these.
Just closed 86 million bank accounts, and they're forcing everybody to get a digital ID. It's absolute chaos on the streets. Riots, famine, fear. This is what I've been hearing for the past couple weeks now. I've been getting hundreds of messages and comments. So let me clear this up a little bit. First, in Vietnam, there's a big problem with fraud. If you've been watching the recent news lately, you've seen a ton of major celebrities and superstars from Vietnam have been getting arrested for fraud. And there are over 200 million bank accounts in Vietnam, and that far exceeds the number of adults in the country. Most of the accounts were dormant, unregistered, forgotten, and a big percentage of them were being used for fraudulent activities. And I asked 5 of my local Vietnamese friends about this nonsense, and they all said the same thing. What are you talking about? Wouldn't there be chaos on the streets if this happened? They wouldn't dare touch people's money. These are fraudulent accounts. And as for the digital ID, that was fully implemented in 2021. They're just now in 2025 requiring that foreigners who are on permanent visas or work visas have to register as well. In America, we call it a real ID, where you register your biometrics, or you can't travel. So stop panicking after.
That's one of the videos, and that's definitely true, man. All right, they've implemented this stuff already. You know, signing laws under our noses. You know, while we were always being distracted. All right, you have to remember, whenever there's distractions around the world, it's because Esau is doing some wicked ass shit under everybody's noses, man. And in that time, in 2021, you had uh, a lot of signing being done, executive orders being put out, for digital IDs. You had Biden that was basically, signing executive orders connecting to the Rice Krispy treat. Okay, even in 2020, right? 2019 going into 2020, when they came out with the Joe Jabba Jabba, all right, which there was a big agenda behind that, all right, that a lot of people couldn't seem to, put together, okay, which it went into the basically into the GO, all right, the bow on the go, I call it, if you understand what that is, okay. We'll continue on. Let's get another video.
Digital ID is coming, and what you're going to do about it? The chances are you're probably not going to do anything. You see, how do we actually stop the digital ID? Do you want the bad news? We're not going to be able to stop it. It is going to happen. It doesn't matter what we do as a people. Yeah, a lot of people have said, wow, we'll just call the government's bluff, like I put in one of my videos. But you see, the thing is, the majority of people are not going to call the government's bluff. As soon as they see themselves not being able to work without a digital ID, they're going to get it. Protesting doesn't work. Over 3 million people marched on London with their flags. Do you think the government cares? No, they don't. Petitioning doesn't work. That petition has got millions of signatures on it now. And you know what the government did with it? Keir Starmer took it and he wiped his arse with it. People aren't going to abstain. So the question is, how do you not have a digital ID yourself? And the only way for that to happen is for you to create a life for yourself where you can provide for yourself the things that otherwise you are going to need a digital ID for. So you're going to have to work for yourself. You're going to have to take care of your health for yourself. You're going to
got a couple of videos. That's why I keep cutting them off. So you got out there talking about Vietnam, all right, with the digital IDs, all right. 86 million bank accounts were closed out. People are rioting over that. All right. Now that guy that was speaking, he's from Australia. All right. So that digital ID is out there. All right, going into these, which again, these things are all going to lead to the main thing, the Rice Krispie treat, man. Okay.
January 2026, every baby born in the U.S. will get a digital ID at birth. Not just name and date. We're talking fingerprints, retina scan, even DNA. This ID will be required for school, hospitals, even phone apps. And parents, you don't get a choice, it's federal law. Some states say, no digital ID, no health insurance. Supporters call it protection. Critics call it control. So what do you think, child safety or a lifetime of surveillance? Comment below and follow before this becomes your...
See, this is all just fear tactics that this devil does, man. Which these things are going to be brought out. You know, he's going to try to put you in that predicament. All right. Again, the digital IDs that are being pushed are not the actual MOTB. All right. The MOTB is going to be when that RFID is presented and being mandatory. Okay. What they're doing right now is just stirring up the people. Okay. Because it's problem, reaction, solution. Okay. Hegelian dialect. Okay. They have to do that because they have the solution already. They already know how the people are going to react. All right. They caused the problem. They know how the people are going to react. They're going to react with protest and you know, everybody trying to stand up against the government. And then what they're doing is right now they're pretty much putting you in predicaments of, all right, if you don't have this, you're not going to be able to eat. You know, you're not going to be able to buy certain things. All right. And that's how they make you go to them for the want of all things. All right. To eventually, when you're in that position of, you know, going to them for help, going to Egypt for help and wanting all things by them, you know, it's that much easier for you to present a solution of that MOTB. Okay.
Digital ID must be accepted by U.S. citizens by 2028 or risk exclusion from society. Christian, are you going to be ready?
I don't have to keep playing them off. Like I said, some of them are long. Some of them, they just talk too much and they just keep going into it. All right. So again, these are fear tactics, man. The greatest weapon of mass destruction that this devil has is that he puts fear in people's hearts, man. And these people tend to listen more and just agree and play the go along with them, you know, because they're scared of things like this. You know, that one right there is going to scare so many people, fear of being excluded from society. Oh, well, I can't have fun no more. I can't do this no more. I can't go on vacations. You know, this is how they're going to make you bow down to the image. Okay.
Please scan your ID. Access denied. Carbon quota exceeded.
What? No, come on. You've got to be kidding me.
Please scan your ID. Access denied. Carbon quota.
Okay, it's another one. Let's grab, you got Mexico that just announced their national digital currency on social media, and they're losing it out there. Okay. Oh, I gotta read that to you. Hold on. Let me take that back. So basically what it says there, it says Mexico makes biometric identifier mandatory for all citizens. All right, Mexico has officially introduced a digital identification system by signing a law that turned the previously optional biometric-based citizen code into a mandatory document for all citizens. All right, last month, legislators approved amendments to a law related to the 18-character personal identifier known as the Unique Population Registry Code. Okay. It says, with the change formalized on Wednesday through a decree. All right, which, hey, as a matter of fact, let's grab a scripture of that. This is Isaiah 10th chapter. Okay. This is Isaiah 10:1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Okay. Now let's go back. Still got a couple more.
It's happening in Mexico. Digital currency just announced today. We heard in the last probably 45 days, they didn't want American dollars in Mexico anymore. If you were going to go, they're trying to pass a bill that if you go to vacation in Mexico, you only deal in pesos. So you have to exchange your currency for their currency. We heard in the last 45 days that there's a bill that's been presented that you can't make fun of any political people, including the president. We are now waiting on her. We went full biometrics. They said it was voluntary, and it's not. It's being asked for at airports and
yeah, because that's what this damn devil's about. All right, that's what all these damn devils about. Remember, all these top governments, you know, of these different countries and different, they all are in cahoots together. All right, that's why they sit at the round table together, man, and they come out with plans to destroy our people, man. All right, even our own people that are involved in with the politics of, you know, this digital system, this beast system that's being put in place, man. All right, because they pretty much just straight coons to the shit, man. All right. Oh, that's more on the Mexico.
Because now it's time for digital ID. Okay, 17 countries have rolled out or passed digital ID laws in the last 3 months.
Can you do me a favor and explain to me what digital ID is first?
It's implemented in stages, though, too. So it's implemented in stages. So digital ID is essentially tying your biometric. The ultimate goal is tying your biometrics to a essentially IP address on maybe, let's say, a blockchain, so that you can have your own social credit score based on the things you say, the things you pay, and the things you
Black
do.
Mirror.
Very 1,000% Black Mirror. So basically every single Revelations type prophetic show that you've ever watched, that.
Because when I think of digital ID, I mean, I've been flying a lot lately, especially with Delta, and it has digital ID on it, and it's awesome because you walk up and you're like, it shows your picture. I say I have TSA pre-check and digital ID. I walk up, don't take my shoes off, my belt off. It scans my thing. They don't need my boarding pass. They don't need my passport. They don't need anything.
Well,
I'm in. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Bro.
Yeah, it is awesome. Don't get used to traveling, though. Because be on this podcast, they're gonna flag your ass here in about 2 years.
Because that all ties back to convenience, man. That's what this whole thing is about, which they're gradually, you know, brainwashing you with all these different tactics, all right? And they brainwash you with the convenience, all right? That's what, when they roll out this mandatory RFID, all right, to be implemented into the human body, all right, it's gonna be all about convenience, man. All right, you're gonna have all your data put into one thing, all right? And what he was saying was in the beginning, he said it comes in stages, all right? And that's very true that it comes in stages, because when you understand what happened in 2020, all right, when they brought out the Yo Jabba Jabba, they were trying to put the bow and the go into you, all right? You have to understand these things go together. This is one of the things I was asking in chat GPT, right? And that shit got real deep. Even the chat was looking at me crazy, like, damn, those are smart answers. But they was trying to go away from the actual answer that I was looking for. But I already knew what it was. They said enough for me to put it together. You see? So when 2020 came and they were giving the Yo Jabba Jabba, it was to get the bow on the go into your body. All right. So the bow on the go, going into that GO, go look it up, that GRAPHENE. All right. I ain't got to say the rest. All right. Peroxide, basically. You know, that is because your body, they were trying to get that into your system, that NaNO technology. All right. Because your body produces, I believe it's 100 hertz, okay, which is, you know, electromagnetic energy. All right. This is why our bodies are like a Wi-Fi. This is why they're going to try to connect us through transhumanism into that, because our bodies are Wi-Fi. All right, our bodies have semi neurotransmitters that release data into our brain. All right, and you have Wi-Fi that releases data to the internet. All right, see how they go hand in hand. So them giving you the GO, all right, is to boost up that electromagnetic energy, because your body only produces about 100 hertz. So they say scientifically, okay? They can still do it without that in your body, all right? But it's just a longer process to connect you to the system. So with the things that they're bringing now with this digital ID, the digital ID is meant for the biometric of things. Okay, this is why they want your face recognition, your basically that carbon footprint, man. They want your fingerprints. All right, all of that goes in hand with the GO. So all that GO that they were putting into your body is to boost. All right, imagine, remember, it's altering you already know what in your body. All right, so now you have more electromagnetic energy. So when they take the digital ID, all right, it's just that much easier for you to show up into their system, going into the facial recognition and, you know, the fingerprints and all that. All right. And then by having all that inside you, and then the digital ID, you being put into the system of the, you know, the facial recognition, all that is going to be that much easier when they put that RFID into you. You see, that's when you're going to become like that ultimate computer, let's just say, that ultimate Wi-Fi. All right, this is why you have Mr. BG. All right, he's trying to get away with phones, because we're not going to longer need no more phones. You're going to be the phone yourself. you see, you're not going to need no more of that, man. All right, and that's why it's going to go all hand in hand. So this digital ID that they're trying to push through biometrics, man, is going to make it that much easier and simpler to connect to the RFID. Okay, which the RFID, there's two different types of RFID. All right, you have passive RFID, and then you have non-passive. Okay, the non-passive ones are pretty much RFID C-hips that are battery operated. Okay, that the passive, all right, is not battery operated. That's why they're going to use you, because you are almost like a battery. You see, and they show you that in the Matrix. All right, what did you have? You know, when they were on the incubators, they were basically being turned into batteries for energy to their system, to the computers. You know what I'm saying? So when that passive, remember that RFID that's going to be presented to be mandatory is going to be a passive one, man, because you yourself is going to power it up through the electricity that runs through our bodies, man. And with these devils adding more into the human body, it's just going to be that much simpler to track, you know, to connect. All right, quicker to be able to release data and information, you know, and they're going to always portray it to you as convenience. You know, well, you can, you know, we'll be able to track kids that get kidnapped in these days, you know, and we're in those times where, you know, the sex slave trade is a heavy thing out there, man. Okay, they're gonna, you know, again, put all money together in there, you know, where you can only buy and sell through that. All right, it has gonna have your data, your medical history, you know, so now they're able to, you know, transfer data through pharmaceutical stuff, which that's all pharmakia. You see, all of it is all witchcraft, and it goes all in hand. All right. So, you know, him saying that it's broken in stages is a heavy thing, man. All right, because all these things are broken in heavy stages, and it's all broken down to in scientific manners. You know, these devils is all about pseudoscience, man. These devils is all about science, period. They don't believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They believe in science, you know. But the elect here, all right, we're gonna believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai full-hearted, man. We're not worried about none of this devil's science. The scriptures talk about that the knowledge of this world is foolishness unto the eyes of the Lord, man. So none of that shit matters, man. All right, but let's continue on.
To start your car, right? So it's that like inability to be able to buy or sell unless your social credit score checks out.
So and that's why this social credit score is going to be brought out into it. Okay, if you have low credit score, all right, well you're limited to certain things. You're not able to buy certain things. That's why they want to bring in this UBI, universal basic income. All right. Because they want you to be real lazy. They want you to continue to depend, okay, on the government for things. All right. People gonna basically get paid to sit on their ass at home. All right. And that's just another way for them to usher this mandatory system that they're gonna want. All right. And they'll just tell you, hey, well, we'll knock you off your benefits. All right. Oh, you don't want to take that? Well, then you're not gonna be included in society, you know. And this is what's going to happen. This is why you have BG saying that you risk exclusion, all right, being excluded from this society. You're not going to be able to have the fun you want to have. You're not going to be able to eat the good stuff. You know, this is why Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai has put the spirit on us to put full faith in him, man, because as the scriptures say, we're going to be like pilgrims on earth in that day, man. You see? We're not going to be connected to the system, man. All right. We're going to have to suffer out there. All right. And be living in woods or wherever the Lord puts us. All right. To flee, you know, or you're going to end up being, you know, put in a prison because you didn't want to comply with these damn devils. All right. But we're going to always demonstrate what? Faith. Okay. We're going to always show that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai got our back. Okay.
Rolled out or past this, okay?
Okay, hold on.
All right.
When you say social credit score, because there was a Black Mirror episode. Did you watch Black Mirror yet? No. Son of a bitch.
Get to your point, because I want to say 17 countries that are doing this now.
You see how he cut his ass off? He was about to say something. As a matter of fact, if you never watched it, go watch that. All right? If you never watched Black Mirror, definitely go watch it, because they have a lot of crazy, you know, things that they put in there that's gonna happen right in front of your face. Remember, these movies are not meant for your entertainment. You know, yeah, you could watch movies and you know you could be a fanatic, because I'm a fanatic of movies. All right, but I've always realized, even when I wasn't in the truth, that movies were always telling you something. It's called predictive programming, man. They tell you these things, all right, because this is what's gonna be happening in the future. You know. And look, all these movies that they've had in the past that were basically telling you of the times that we're in now, you know, we're living in what? The fourth industrial revolution, the internet of things, man. Everything is about the internet. Everything is about a smart this, smart that. Okay. So of course that if that's if that's the times that we're in, the internet of things, why wouldn't they actually make you part of the internet and you become the internet yourself, man? All right. It only makes sense. All right. Here it is. They done, you know, did all types of tests on animals and, you know, things around the world that are next to us, but it hasn't been done on us. You know, eventually we're going to have to be the ones that they tried on next. You know, and that's a very real thing. All right. Transhumanism. Okay. That's what this devil wants. As a matter of fact, let's grab that real quick in the scripts. All right. This is and Lord willing is edifying what I'm saying. All right. And making sense. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:4. And it says, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called Yahweh. All right, that is called God, okay, or that is worshipped, because that's what this devil wants you to do. All right, he wants to play the role of God. All right, he wants to be worshipped. Okay, and how is he going to show that he's being worshipped? With this digital device? All right, with his digital Messiah. All right, we are entering into a NWO now. Okay, and in order for that to happen, all right, they have to get rid of the old order. Okay.
which is money, the old ways. All right. So they basically got to get rid of the old gods, or the old idols. Now they're coming with a new idol, and that's that digital Messiah. All right. And it's going to be coming in the way of that, in that RFID. All right. And it's going to be a physical. All right. That was one of the things I was trying to get out of the chat GPT. All right. But it didn't want to get to it. As a matter of fact, it did when I first jumped on, because I don't use apps like that. I don't get a lot of people starting to use it, you know, things like that. But I try to stay away from that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they could track you down, which they're already doing that anyway. But they could just do a whole lot of shit. Let's put it that way. All right. So I don't get involved with shit like that. But something jumped on my spirit to just mess with it today. And I was messing with it for hours, you know, just asking questions. I actually probably could go into my shit and bring up my whole conversation, you know. But when I first jumped on it, this is how I know it was just Satan fucking with me. He didn't want me to, he was trying to get me off my game, because then all of a sudden my wife hit me up, oh, the power's out, and I had to go figure out what the hell was going on. And then when I came back, because I didn't log off, but I took it off, I went to go ask the same questions, and that damn, it didn't give me the same answers. It was like, because I was fresh and I first used it, they gave me some good answers that I wanted to hear. And one of the things that I asked was, you know, would it lead to the RFID? And it answered pretty much yes, that these digital IDs would, okay, lead to the RFID, you know. But yeah, nah, it definitely got deep into that chat. All right. But continuing on, all right, it says 2 Thessalonians 2:4, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped. Okay. And again, they're gonna, that digital ID is gonna make you bow down basically to this devil. So he's gonna feel like he's being worshipped. Okay. It says, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. All right. And the way he's going to sit in the temple, because the scriptures talk about how the temple, we are the temple of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right. Our bodies are the temple. This is why you're supposed to keep your temple clean, you see. But our bodies is the temple of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So how is he going to sit in the temple? He's going to sit in the temple through an implementation physically. All right. And he's going to sit in the temple with that RFID. All right. He's going to be able to track your every move. He's going to be able to see how you breathe, how you, what your, he really want to tap into your thoughts, man. All right. And be able to hack your thoughts at the end of the day. That's what it's really coming down to. All right. Because this devil's just not satisfied with what he has, man. He wants to take over everything. So he really wants to take over your thoughts. He wants to know what an Israelite man thoughts is. What is it really like to be a godly person? You see, because remember, this devil's trying to get back his birthright. He even trying to go back into time to try to get his birthright, but he ain't gonna have that, man. The Lord took that away from him. You see, he gave up his birthright. Okay, so he can no longer repent. None of that, man. So the you know, him selling himself over, right, selling his soul for a piece of raw meat. All right, this is how he tries to get everybody to sell their souls out here, man. All right, and he's gonna do it by the way of making you bow down to his system, to his image, to receive that M-A-R-K, that charagma, all right? To basically throw it in the Lord's face. Like, look, I got your people. See, I'm playing the role of God now, okay? And by him sitting in the temple is basically going through transhumanism, man, all right? So, continuing on, I think I got one more video.
The UK, Laos, China, Taiwan, Mexico, Zambia, Canada, Ethiopia, Thailand, Vietnam, Australia, Costa Rica, Switzerland, and Papua New Guinea.
See, look at all these countries, all right, that have now went over to the digital ID, all right? And that's only gonna mean one thing, that when the time comes for them to present that RFID, all right, they're gonna move on to that too. Okay, they already know they're going to move on to that. It's just They have to gradually do it. They want all hell to break loose. This is why they're giving you the biometrics right now, the IDs right now, the digital IDs, because they know that people are going to start standing up and realizing what's going on. And you already started to see protests over it, man. Okay. So this is why it's easy for them to, okay, now these people are starting to get riled up. These people are starting to protest against us. All right, now let's take away their foods. Let's take away their what they need the most. Okay, just because they simply don't want to comply with what they're giving you. All right, to the point where eventually you're gonna have no choice. All right, unless you have Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You see, but you're not gonna have a choice, and they're gonna give it to you mandatory, man, and you're gonna be begging basically for it. They pretty much have said that, man. That you even have BG that said that, man, that the next one's going to catch your attention. You know, the next pandemic is going to catch your attention. And what their plan is that they're not even going to ask you or beg you to take it. You're going to be begging for it because you want to go back to the way it used to be, how life used to be. You want to want all these benefits that you used to have. All right. See this world to come. All right. If you don't comply with them, there is no benefits for you. There is no rewards for you. Okay. And this is why, you know, a gift, they're going to present it to you as a gift. All right. And the scriptures say that a gift destroyed the heart. Let's grab that. A gift destroyed the heart, KJV. This is Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely oppression make a wise man mad, all right? And a gift destroyeth the heart, okay? So to the elect, all right, we being constantly oppressed is making us mad. You know, we might sound like we some madmen out here, but we're really not mad, all right? Because we want this place to be destroyed, but it's the oppression that gets us mad, man, because it becomes harder and harder. This is why we need Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah to get us up out of here, all right? And a gift that's presented to you from these governments, any type of gift or reward, all right, is always going to be a gift that destroys the mind, all right, because the heart goes into what? Your la'ab. It's going to destroy your mind, all right? And that gift, ultimately, they want to put it into your la'ab, all right, in your forehead, man. When you go into that word forehead, it goes into to metapon, all right, which goes into meta, okay? All right, and this is why they have the metaverse, you see. And as a matter of fact, now that I brought up that scripture, there's another scripture that goes with it. Let me see if I remember how it goes. It's like clouds without rain. Clouds without rain. I believe it's like 29th chapter of Proverbs, something like that. Not 29. Let's see. 25. That's where it was. 25. This is Proverbs 25:14. It says, "Whoso boasteth himself of a false gift is like clouds and wind without rain." Yeah, and hey, it was like when 2020 came and these people were taking the yo jabba jabba. All right, they were actually boasting about it. Oh, look, I could go back to society because I took this and my boosters with these other 2 and these other 5. And yeah, look at me now. I could go back to society and do what I was allowed to do, you know? And look, that shit had people dropping like flies, man. You know, they were hoping that it didn't drop like flies. All right. But a lot of people dropped like flies because that technology was being put into you that it's not supposed to be in your body, man. Not everybody's body can handle that at the end of the day. All right, especially these damn other nations, because those nations are weak, man. All right, Jake is the stronger nation in all things. All right, that's why it's mostly, you know, this MOTB. All right, and all these damn tactics that they use is really to get at Jake because Jake's body's so strong, you know. And I've always said we have a certain type of blood. All right, all that blood A, blood, you know, A positive, B positive, whatever. That's just bullshit, man. All right, that them other nations got that damn type of blood. All right. Don't believe your doctor when he says, "Oh, you're A positive." Nah, I believe all of us are O positive that are Israelites, man. That's how they're able to know when you're born that we're pretty much of that we're Israelites from the gate, you know, because the blood that we have, man, is different from all these other nations. All right. So they have to come with these extra tactics and extra poisons to try to kill off Jake, because here it is, we get poisoned all day, but we still alive. They be sitting there saying to themselves, damn, we done poison these damn people in so many different ways, and these motherfuckers are still standing. You know, that's the mentality of these damn devils, man. All right. So it says, whoso boasted, Proverbs 25 and 14, whoso boasted himself of a false gift. When that Rice Krispy treat is going to be presented, all right, a lot of people are going to boast themselves when they get it. You know, they're going to boast themselves to the ones that didn't get it. Okay. And it's going to be a false gift onto them, you see, and it's going to be a false gift that's like clouds and wind without rain. And here it is a hot day, all right, and your ass is sweating, man, and you could just wish that it just pour on you right now, you know. But here goes a big ass rain cloud, right, and your ass is hot as hell, and that rain cloud, you expecting it to drop some water on you so you can feel a little bit cooler and a little bit better, but it never comes, you know. So it's going to be the same thing with this damn devil's system. All right, when he presents this to you, you're thinking that you're gonna have rewards after it. You know, you're gonna be able to go back to society, okay, and do this and do that. But meanwhile, he put your ass in a trick bag the whole entire time. You see, and when you realize that you took that, you're gonna end up realizing, like, damn, I did the wrong move. All right, because here it is. I thought I was going to be able to do this, do that, and you weren't. It was just for him to catch you, all right, and be able to, you know, hack into you, you know. Again, you know, you're going to be a computer, all right? And if they can hack a computer now, what makes you think they ain't going to be able to hack you, you know, make you do whatever the hell they want? If they want to make you jump off a damn bridge, that's what's going to happen, you know? So a lot of people are going to boast themselves of this false gift, man. And they're gonna realize that it wasn't what they thought it was. Okay. So let me grab another video. I think that'll be the last video, and then I'll just grab a bunch of scriptures. And again, Lord willing, is making sense what I'm saying. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. What was the one I seen? This is what it eventually will lead to. Okay. Let me play one more, and then I'll play that last one.
They call it part of the fourth industrial revolution.
One of the features of this fourth industrial revolution is that it doesn't change what we are doing, but it changes us.
The very idea of human being some sort of natural concept is really going to change. Up until now, the conversation we've been having is around freedom of speech. Once we can access people's thoughts, access people's emotions.
The focus is, all of you know.
See, I just said that. See, they want to tap into your thoughts, man. Because right now we have that freedom of speech, man. And the freedom of speech that we have, we speak of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. They want to know what that feels like, man. You see, they want to tap into that level, because there's no greater level than having the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. This devil don't know how to have wisdom of the Lord, because like the scriptures tell you in Psalms, all right, 10, all right, there is no, Yahweh's not in his thoughts. Let's grab that real quick. This is Psalms 10, and I'll take it from, let's take it from 2 down to 4. It says, the wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. All right. And that's what we hope for, man. And that's, we know that that's going to happen. All right. Because the Lord, all right, like the scriptures say, in Job. All right. Let me grab that real quick. Give me 1 second. This is Job 5:12. It says he disappointed the devices of the crafty. All right, because they're very crafty. That's that cunning craftiness that this devil has. All right, since the beginning. Okay, he's a cunning hunter. Okay, he disappoints the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Okay, so it's gonna fly for a little bit, all right. But as the scriptures tell you in Job, the 20th chapter, just when he's about to fill up his belly, all right, the Lord is gonna lift up that standard upon him, man. All right. So back to Psalms 10:2, the wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desires and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh abhorreth. Okay. Let's grab that in the NLT. The wicked arrogantly hunt down the poor. Let them be caught in the evil they plan for others. For they brag about their evil desires, and they do it. They do it right in your face. They do it with music. They do it with movies. All right. They do it with entertainment constantly. All right. And you think it's a joke. All right. And they're telling you this shit right in your face, man. See, if you ain't got that spiritual eyesight to see these things, man, you'll never understand it. You'll just look at it like it's just a normal day. All right. But the elect, man, we see exactly for what it is. Okay. It says, for they brag about their evil desires. They praise the greedy and curse the Lord Yahweh. See, he ain't about the Lord. Okay. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. You see? It says the wicked are too proud to seek Yahweh. They seem to think that God is dead, man. That Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is dead. So they're never thinking about the Lord, man, or his ways. All right. All they think about is their science and how to catch somebody in a net. All right. And this is all these things that are happening. This is just bait. All right. For the fish of the sea, basically, to bite on. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. In in Habakkuk 1 and 15. All right. It says they take up all of them with the angle. They catch them in their net and gather them in their drag. All right. And if you know about fishing, all right, that's how you catch fish, man. All right. You got a hook. You put you plant a hook into your line. All right. You throw it out. But before you throw your hook out, you got to put some type of what? Good bait on it. All right. This is what the convenience is about, of them having all these different tactics. All right. Trying to lure you in, to make it feel good. All right, to make it seem like, oh man, that shit might work out for us. That seems like a good plan, Or they constantly, gradually make you think that these things are normal. All right, and your dumb ass is really sitting there. Oh man, we've had this before, man. This is just like having some credit cards, man. Don't credit cards have C-hips in it already? So it's just that much easier for me to put it in me. I don't have to worry about losing it. I don't have to worry about somebody coming to rob my shit. That's what that convenience is about. The convenience is the bait that they put on it. Okay. It says they take up all of them with the angle. They catch them in their net and they gather them in their drag. See, they're going to, when you drag that line in the, that usually when you fishing for catfish, which none of our people should be eating that shit anyway. They ain't got no fins and scales, man. I mean, ain't got no scales. It's got fins, but ain't got no scales. All right. But, when you're catching catfish, all right, that's what you do. You're supposed to drag that line. All right. And all that, debris that comes up is what catches the attention because of the bait on it, and that's how you hook them. Okay. It says, therefore, they rejoice and are glad. Therefore, they sacrifice onto their net and burn incense onto their drag, because their portion is fat and their meat plentiness. You see, because the baits that they give is going to have that effect of, man, I can have all this with it. You see, if I just take this, I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to have these rewards. I'll be able to benefit in this manner. All right. That's going back to that's the mentality that Satan had in let me grab that in Matthew. Okay. The 6th chapter. The 4th chapter, Salakia. All right. Let's grab it real quick. This is the mentality that he got. This is 4:1. Then was Yahushua led up of the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. See, and we're about to be, we're in that wilderness. America is that wilderness, man. So there's a whole lot of temptations that this devil got. Okay. It says, and when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the son of Yahweh, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of his mouth. Okay, that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahweh. Okay, that's why we're not going to put, you know, our trust in any of this devil's devices. We're not worried about what he has to offer us, man, because we know that we have the bread of life, man. We're not going to worry when this devil tells you you can't eat, you can't drink nothing. All right, because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is the bread of life. We have already what satisfies our hunger. You see, it says, then the devil taketh him up into the holy city and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, if thou be the son of Yahweh, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Yahweh said unto him, it is, hold on, let me turn this off, because I've been running my car like crazy. I'm over here running my car like it's like gas ain't expensive. All right. It says, Yahweh said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy power. Again, the devil taketh him, this is the point I really wanted. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. You see, this devil, when he presents it, he's going to present it with, you know, you'll be able to have these glories with it. You see, you'll be able to have all this again, all this that you used to have and more, if you just bow down and you take this M-A-R-K. You see, it says, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. You see, going back to 2 Thessalonians 2:4. You see, he wants to be playing the role of God, and he wants you to worship him. Okay. It says, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Yahweh unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thy serve. You see, and that's what we're supposed to constantly do, man. Put our trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. We're supposed to serve him. All right, we're not supposed to bow down and serve this damn devil, man. He ain't nobody. Okay, yeah, he might threaten your life, you know, but what does the scripture say? Fear not him that could kill the body, all right, but fear him that could kill the body and the soul. Okay, so let's go back. Oh, then let me finish up. It says, then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. Yeah, because the angels encampeth round about those that fear the Lord. So we're not gonna have no worries, man. All right, we're gonna have constant angels around us, man, watching our backs. All right, leading us in our thoughts in the right manner, directing our steps in righteousness, not in wickedness, man. And this is why you have to stay prayed up, very important, and you have to constantly fast, man. All right, so the Lord can have your back, man. The Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace, as the scriptures tell you, man. All right, so let's go back to, oh yeah, hold on a minute. So Habakkuk. All right, Habakkuk 1:15. It says, they take up all them with the angle, they catch them in their net and gather them in their drag. Therefore they rejoice and are glad. All right, and that devil will sit there and wait all day with that hook, because he's a cunning hunter, because he knows that our people will fall for the bait at one point. Okay, the longer you continue to put it in their, hang it in their face, the bait, all right, they're gonna bite. All right, so let's go back to that video.
what's now called the Internet of Bodies, involving medical implants and other kinds of devices that go inside your body, and all together with the Internet as a whole comprise the Internet of Bodies.
The Internet of Bodies, or IoT.
And that's what I was saying earlier. When you understand what was really going on with that, you know, yo jabba jabba, they were trying to put that bow and the go into you to make you, you know, to make that electric magnetic energy in us very high, because our body only pumps 100 hertz according to their science. So they need a lot, all right, to be able to connect to that passive RFID when it's time. All right, you won't need an actual battery for it. You're gonna be the battery because you have so much electromagnetic energy in you. All right, and that's why it's easier for you to get put into that system of the digital ID because of the biometrics. All right, all that biometric shit, it basically lights up your body, man. That's why you can walk. If you ever walk into like a place like Walmart, they have it out here a lot. When you walk into the Walmart stores, there's always a big ass screen, okay? And I've realized, I'm sure I'm right about this, man. If you realize when you walk in there, there's a camera that picks us up wherever the hell this camera is. I don't know. It's got to be all over the place because that place got already thousands of cameras in there, hidden cameras. But you'll always come up on the screen, and what happens is a box comes around you. But I've realized certain people, they don't just get a box. They'll actually get a box and then they're lit up yellow. I guarantee you those that are lit up yellow are people that already have from that yo jabba jabba, that GO inside their body. A lot of it, you see? As opposed to someone like me that don't got none of that shit in me. I'll just have a box around me because it's trying to pick up my facial recognition, but it's not. You see? So it all goes hand in hand. All right. And it just makes you connect to the system even easier. All right.
It's a bunch of devices that are connected to the internet that contain software and that either collect personal health data about you or can alter the body's function. We think of the Internet of Bodies as this collection of all these devices as well as all the data that the devices are gathering about you. And in healthcare, it's Internet of Bodies has been around for quite a while.
So the Internet of Bodies, imagine the power of AI. What is artificial intelligence? It's a way to automate computation and cognition. So we can now automate learning, perceiving, doing computation. It's a pervasive general purpose technology that will be used in all of our industries, that will come into our professional networks, our private networks, our schools, our industries and our offices. What I wanted to epitomize with the Internet of Bodies is this notion that we will be under assessment, we will be under measure of computation in every aspect of our lives in the future, from what you eat, who you date, what you buy on the internet, how much energy you use, but also what are your vital signs, what are you doing in terms of health, what kind of specific...
And seeing what's crazy is that I believe it was Bush that said that shit way back, because when I used to do music, I actually had one of the one that the producer I used to deal with. He made me a beat and he used that clip, and I'll never forget that clip. And that clip always said, it said that a filthy group of rulers, which it was talking basically of the elites, that they knew the aspect of every life of the human, because this is what this devil's always been doing, man. All these different tests and studies that he's done throughout generations, man. He's been doing that shit for a long ass time, longer than what you think, man. All right. And them devils know exactly every aspect of life of the human. All right. This is how they know how to come at you, you know, because they've been doing them studies, and especially on Jake, you know. That's why our children come up missing, you know. They're being used for sex slave trades and shit like that. But it's really because they've been using them for test tubes, man, for testing in their scientific labs that they have, you know, underground and shit like that, man, which I ain't gonna talk too much about it.
genetic quirks do you have? What's your genome telling about your health, about your mental health, about how well you are doing, how well you are aging, what kind of disease you are susceptible to?
It has a bit of an Orwellian twinge to it.
Well,
Heavy hitters. And then I'll bring out this last video, and then I'll get some scriptures and wrap it up. This is what is all going to lead
RFID
to.
microchips in the right hand. A vision for an organized and peaceful future of the one world smart government/kingdom. In a world increasingly driven by technology, the concept of RFID microchips embedded in the right hand offers a glimpse into a future of seamless identification and transactions. This innovation is proposed as a solution to common issues like lost wallets, forgotten IDs, and stolen credit cards. Unlike
All
physical items,
convenience.
an RFID chip in the hand cannot be misplaced, forgotten, or stolen, making it a secure and convenient option for modern living. The concept of RFID technology embedded in the hand draws parallels to a prophecy found in the Bible's book of Revelation, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor.
Yeah, I gotta.
Free and
Let me just take that off real quick, because you already know the algorithm's wild.
might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the Messiah,
Matter
or
of
the
fact,
number of his name.
it's all
For
right.
modern living.
We're gonna play it anyway.
The concept of forgotten IDs and stolen credit cards. Unlike physical items, an RFID chip in the hand cannot be misplaced, forgotten, or stolen, making it a secure and convenient option for modern living. The concept of RFID technology embedded in the hand draws parallels to a prophecy found in the Bible's book of Revelation, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, facial recognition, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the Messiah, or the number of his name. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has understanding calculate the number of the Messiah, and that number is 666. This verse has sparked discussions about a system of global governance, often referred to as the one world smart government/kingdom, where technology is integrated into daily life. The mention of the mark is interpreted as a potential reference to RFID microchips or similar technologies that could serve as identification, passport, and payment systems. The RFID chip would function as both an identification tool and a digital wallet. Here's how the system would operate. The chip would store personal information such as your name, ID number, and biometric data. It eliminates the need for physical IDs or passports. With digital payment capabilities, the chip would act as your primary means of financial transactions. No more cash, credit cards, or smartphones to carry. The system would be tied to a social credit score, which evaluates behavior in compliance with societal norms. A low score could result in restricted privileges, such as the inability to purchase food or travel using digital payments. The concept of an RFID-based system has raised fears of potential misuse, such as authoritarian control or privacy violations. However, proponents of this idea argue that the system would only come into effect after God's judgment, a time described as free from evil. Under divine governance, with God as the ultimate ruler, such a system would be secure and just, ensuring that it cannot be manipulated by corrupt individuals or organizations. According to this vision, the RFID system would emerge in a world where
that's really the pride of this devil, that he thinks that it can't be brought down. You know, when Yahweh Shem Yahushua clearly said it, man. As a matter of fact, let's grab that. All right, I ain't even got to go into that video no more. All right, he's saying too much that you already know. This is Job 20. And there we go. It says 20 and 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, all right, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon them. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. All right, that's when the Lord's going to lift that standard, man. Just when this devil thinks that he got the whole entire world in the palm of his hand on some pinky in the brain shit, all right, the Lord is literally going to lift up that standard, man. He's going to bring it, all right. He's going to return upon his own head, all right. Let's grab that. This is Psalm 7 and 16. It says, his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent, matter of fact, let me go into it. Let me grab it from, in 1 second. Yeah, let me grab it from 14. It says, behold, he traveleth with iniquity, and he has conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. I will praise the Lord Yahweh according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the name of the Lord Yahweh, the Most High. You see, so he could try to do whatever he wants, man. And he could have the biggest laugh, but the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is gonna have the last laugh, man. All right, and this is why your ass is gonna go straight into captivity. All right, you're gonna serve them 1,000 years. It's gonna feel like 10,000 years, and then you're gonna be eradicated off the planet Earth, man. All right, never to be heard of. Just like we was reading, all right, in Job 20. All right, he's gonna be like a dream. All right, that just comes and goes. Okay, he's gonna be like his own dung. All right, when he puts it in the damn toilet and he flushes that toilet, all right, it just disappears. You see, you're never gonna hear this damn devil again. All right, because he wanted to be prideful, all right, and not acknowledge Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Because at the end of the day, this technology that he has is not even of his, man. It's of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. The Lord gave him the intelligence to bring out this damn technology, but he gave him the intelligence and the technology just to destroy him, all right, to destroy himself with it. You see, I bet he wish he never made that internet now. You see, because look, this is how he's being brought down, through the internet. Okay, and with his own devices, he's going to be brought down. Okay, so let's grab a couple scriptures. All right, this is Sirach. This is Sirach 27. And 1. It says, many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. Yeah, and that's what these people gonna do. They're gonna turn their eye away, all right, from the truth, from what you're really supposed to be doing, because they're gonna seek abundance from this devil, man. They're gonna seek, going back to the ways of life. All right, they're gonna seek the benefits of this world, man. When the Lord told us not to love the things in this world, all right, because the fashion of this world passeth away. The lust thereof is going to pass away. Okay, all the pleasures here, that shit's going to pass away. None of these pleasures is going to be in the kingdom, man. All right. Let me turn on this car because Yeah, that was actually my bad, Salakia. Salaki, that wasn't even Esau. That was actually me. My dumb ass should have never turned on my car because I forgot when I turned it off. When I turned it off, and it's connected to I got the internet connected to my little plug in here. It actually resets everything. I should have never did that. But then again, if I didn't do that, I would have never been able to turn on my car. I would have to get a jump from somebody. So, hey, Salaki, about that. That was on me. All right. So continuing on, it says Ecclesiasticus 27 and 1. It says, many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. Okay. And yeah, these people are gonna seek abundance, man. They're gonna seek the finer things that Esau's gonna have to offer along with this RFID. Okay. It says, as the nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so does sin stick close between buying the benefit. You see, because they're gonna end up sinning for a cause that's gonna bring you to is gonna put you to death. All right, because those that end up taking that mark, right, as the scriptures tell you, you're gonna feel the wrath of the angels. All right, let's grab that real quick. This is Revelations 14 and 9, and it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in the forehead or in his right hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. All right, that's the judgment that these people gonna get, man, for taking that mark, for wanting to go back to the ways of society, man, taking on that image. All right, so let me grab that one more time. All right, in Ecclesiasticus 27 and 2, as a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so does sin stick close between buying and selling. All right, so for you wanting to go back to being able to buy things and sell things, all right, you're gonna end up causing yourself to sin, all right, very greatly before Yahweh Shai. All right, let's grab this. This is Isaiah 36 and 6. Lo, thou trusted in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, wherein if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. All right. But I mean, that goes hand in hand with 30, Isaiah 30 and 1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. And that's, see, we ask and we pray for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah to strengthen us in those times, man, to make us first and foremost, not to be able to that we don't fall into the trap, all right, and that he keeps us away from the hour of temptation, man, because the scriptures tell you that in Revelations, the 3rd chapter, verse 10, all right, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. All right, let's grab that real quick. All right, this is Revelations 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, all right, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, okay, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, all right? And the whole earth is going to be brought to that scenario, man, all right? That's why it says he maketh all rich and poor, all right? So, continuing on, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. All right. Let's go back to Isaiah 30. Okay. It says 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. Yeah, you leaning on this broken reed, man. All right, is gonna be your shame and your confusion, as it says, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. All right, because here it is that going back to them scriptures. All right, it's like rain without clouds, man. Here it is. You wanted a certain outcome out of it. All right, but it didn't come out the way you planned it or the way you thought it was going to work out for you. You see, because this devil's a liar, man. That's what this devil's about. Lies. As the scripture said, the wicked is estranged from the womb. All right. As soon as they be born, they speak lies. So everything that comes out of this devil's mouth is a complete lie. There's always an agenda behind it. All right. Let's grab back in 36, Isaiah 36. It says, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, where if a man lean, all right, if you lean toward it, right, and you lean for help on this damn devil, you want to use him as the crutch, okay, it will go into his hand and pierce it, all right? What's going to end up going into that hand, man? And it's going to end up piercing you, all right? That charagma, right? Let's grab Luke. Luke 21. I'll take it from 33, 32. It says, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. All right. And these scriptures, all right, this prophecy is going to be fulfilled right before your eyes, and it's being fulfilled right before your eyes right now. It says, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life. That's why these people going to end up giving that damn hand, because of the cares of this life, because of the drunkenness, all right, the wine and philosophies that this devil has given them, all right. It says, and the cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares, okay. And as a matter of fact, that reminds me of, I believe it's in Genesis, I want to say the 47th chapter. Yeah. All right. Look at the way these people had given themselves, man. This is 47 and 18. All right. I'm gonna go straight to the point. I ain't even gonna read a lot of it. All right. But there was a great famine, right? And what were they telling Joseph? All right, this is what they were telling Joseph. All right, because remember, this devil's about to starve you with a famine also. This is going to be another tactic for him to make you bow down to him, man, to end up taking that that MOTB. All right, because he wants you to bow down to him and worship him, man, to go to him for the want of all things. All right, which that's a curse already upon our people. All right, but getting straight to the point, it says, when that year was ended, they came unto him the second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money is spent. All right. And the same thing's going to happen here. The only thing is that this money's not going to be spent. All right. This money's going to be taken away. This money's going to be gone. All right. everything's going to become digital. So we're no longer going to need money no more, man. You see? It says, how that our money is spent, my Lord also has our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord but our bodies and our lands. You see? So they were gonna offer their body and their lands, man. You see? And that's what they're gonna do in these last days, man. They're gonna give up everything, all right, and they're gonna even give up their own body, all right, that which the Lord puts that spirit on you through. Let's grab that real quick. Romans 1 and 24. As a matter of fact, let's take it from 21. It says, because that when they knew Yahweh, they glorified him not as Yahweh, not as power. Neither were they thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their heart and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. All right, you see, they took Yahweh, all right, and they wanted to what? They wanted to make it into an image unto like corruptible man. So they had these idols. They started to bring out these idols, man, which this is going to be an idol. All right, this new image that they're going to give you is going to be another idol, but just in a newer version. All right, and it's going to come in a digital version. You see, it says, who wherefore Yahweh, this is the point I wanted, wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts. You see, because they're going to lust for the things of this world still, which this is talking about these devils being moles and shit like that. All right, but we got to use it in the spiritual sense here. Okay, it says, wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness. All right, going to hit that sin that's sticking between the joints, as we was just reading, man. That's going to come between buying and selling. All right, they're going to give themselves up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. You see, they're going to dishonor their own bodies and actually give up their own body to Esau. Okay, yeah, that's the point on that. All right, so going back to Genesis 47. All right, straight to the point. So I can just read in real quick to see. Yeah, I'll go right back to that point. All right, so your point was at 18. And it says, I'll take it from 16 down to 18. As a matter of fact, I'll take it into 15 back down to 18, because this is spiritual. And when money failed in the land of Egypt, are we not spiritually Sodom in Egypt? Money's going to fail here, you see? So when the money fails, all right, and we don't have that no more, this is what these people going to do, right? It says, and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. All right, because there's going to be a lot of bartering. All right, that's going to come back too. We have to barter for things out here, man. It says, and they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses and for their flocks and for the cattle of the herds and the asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. When that year was ended, they came unto him the second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money is spent. My Lord also has our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord but our bodies and our lands. You see? So they were willing to give up their bodies, man. all right, just to get what they had, what they used to have. You see? So let's go to I'll grab this as I'm still on it in the blue letter because I used Habakkuk earlier. All right, which that's the spirit. All right, Habakkuk 2 and 6. All right, straight to the point. 5 is what I wanted. Salaki 2 and 5. Yeah, also because he transgressed by wine. All right, this devil's all about philosophies, right? He is a proud man. All right, just that we know we talking about Esau because he's the most prideful man on earth. Neither keepeth at home. Neither keepeth at home. Yeah. All right. He even to his own kind, he's straight wicked. All right. He could care less about. All right. It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied. This devil's never satisfied with what he got. Here it is. He got the fatness of the earth. All right. He got the blessing of the sword, and he still wants more. He wants bloodshed, and he's not even satisfied with that, to the point that he wants your body. He wants you to sell your soul the same way he sold his soul. All right. Back to him, basically. It says, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. And how is he going to do that? How is he going to gather all the nations? He's going to gather them by the way of this Rice Krispy treat, man. You see, gathering all the nations into one word religion under their satanic god. Okay, let's grab let me grab Proverbs 8. Yeah, let me grab 8. All right, this is why you need wisdom, man, because wisdom take you a long way. Okay, this is 8 and 11. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out the knowledge of witty inventions. All right. And how do we find out that knowledge? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. To be able to know this devil's witty ass inventions that he's created. We're not ignorant onto Satan's devices, man. You see? Let's grab the famous one, because I wanted a point in there. All right, this is Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, all right, free and bond, to receive a MARK in their right hand or in their foreheads, all right, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the MARK or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right. And when you go into that 666, it goes into Chi-Phi stigma. All right. Going into stigma. All right. It tells you that a lot of these people, when you go into the root word of stigma, Chi-Phi stigma, all right, stigma goes into outline of the biblical usage. It says a MARK prick in. This is how you're gonna know that. This is how you know that it's an actual physical thing. You know, that was one of the things I was asking the chat GPT. All right, that if it was that it would become physical at one point, and it basically said it was going to become physical. All right, and you see that now. All right, you got people, which is about to explain to you. All right, people actually did it on their own terms without Esau asking, you know, because they already did it as a token for their gods, showing you that they were already down with the system without begging. You see, and you got a lot of these people out here like that already, man. Believe it or not, there are people walking among us today that already had the MARK in their hands, man. When I used to go to this one gas station, the one guy in there I used to be cool with, you know, he used to tell me, he said there was two people that used to go in every morning. They would just boop, boop, put their hand there, boop, boop. And this was like, he was telling me this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I used to live in Bricktown, man. So it's already been around us, man. You have people out there in Sweden, they see hipping parties all the time. They got all types of different ones, all types of different brands. Google brand, you know, Apple brand, all right, which that was gonna have all different types of brands, you see, to make it hip, to make it, you know, oh, that shit is cool. You know, that one could do this, that one could do this. Devil, right? It says stigma, MARK pricked in or branded upon the body to Oriental usage, all right, to ancient Oriental usage. Slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, parentheses, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there was even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. You see? So it's telling you, you know, back in the ancient time, they used to do certain things to brand themselves to show what master they belonged to. That's why they're going to do that to you in these days, man. You see? It's going to be so so Esau can have a laugh out of it, man. Look, these is my slaves, man. I got them with the Apple RFID, and the other one's talking, oh, nah, nigga, I got this one under the Google. These are my slaves, you know? It says pricked, which is said in parentheses, cut, showing you that's a physical thing. All right, when you go into charagma, it goes into karax. Karax means to what? To cut, okay, into the skin, to make an incision, basically. All right, so it's going to be a physical thing. You see all these other camps that are out there preaching otherwise, man, you're going to be fucking destroyed for that, man. Something so simple, but you being ignorant to it, man. Because you want to have the pleasures of this world, all right? They're going to line up for it themselves. Why? Because they're going to want the benefits of Esau. You see? They're going to want the benefits of the tempter. You see? When you go to the Strong's definition, it says marked, incised, I believe that's how you say that. Give me a second. Incised, yeah. Incised. When you go into that word, as a matter of fact, as I'm here, it says a MARK or decorate, an object or surface with a cut or a series of cuts. Okay? Cutting into the what? Into the flesh. With a surgical, look at that, cut, skin or flesh with a surgical instrument. That's going to be that karax. Okay? I knew it was going to do that. That's going to be that that cut with the actual karax, which I grab karax in a second. All right? It says, or punched for recognition of ownership. Whew. Showing that you belong to, you know, to BG, you know, showing that you belong to Elon Must. All right. Scar of service. Woo! You see? Showing that you have a scar of service, that you are giving servitude onto Esau, man. All right, let's go back to let's go to that word karax. All right, which comes from charagma. Oh shit. All right, the M-A-R-K, that word goes into charagma, which says a stamp and imprinted M-A-R-K, stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Hamashiach. Yeah, showing that you were against Yahushai's word, showing that you were against Hamashiach. All right, but you were for this world, man. That you were for this God, right? As the scriptures tell you, that the God of this world has blinded the minds of them that believed not. You see? Thing carved of idolatrous images. That's right. All right. And that word goes into karax, which is what they're going to use to make that incision in you, man. It says a pale or stake. Okay. When I showed you that one video, it showed what it looked like, man. And then when you look at that shit looks like a cross, man. All right. Which the Strong's definition of karax goes into karasso. All right. To sharpen to a point, the idea of scratching into the skin by implication. All right. Or it says a military mound in a siege, a trench. You know, a trench is a divot in the ground. It's going to be a divot into your hand, and that's where it's going to sit, in the temple of the Most High. All right. And we know that karax goes into what? It goes into grapho. All right. Which means to write with reference to the form of letters. All right. You're going to be able to write out data. You're going to be able to transfer data. All right. Because it says here, the drawing up and writing and to compose things. Yeah. You're going to be able to compose data and transfer it from one place to another. Okay. It says also to write to one, example, by writing in a written epistle to give information and directions. Yeah, you're able to give information, data, transfer it from one place to another. Directions, you're going to be like a GPS, you know. They're going to be able to direct where you're at all times. Because all this shit is about them tapping into your privacy also. Ain't going to be no more privacy out here that you can hide. They're going to know every single thing that you're doing. How many times a night you breathing. How many times your ass go to the corner and play with yourself. How many times your ass go to the bathroom and what it sound like when your ass going to the bathroom. You know? You over there trying to plow your woman, you going to hear what you sound like. That's how wicked Esau is, man. Things to write down, not to be forgotten. You know, and you got Mr. Musty, okay? Mr. Musk, he has you know, he wants to have to the point where he's able to take out your memories before you die and be able to transfer them onto a damn disc and put it into a robot. Good movie to watch is Chappie. All right. That whole movie Chappie, it shows you that, man. But hey, that's pretty much the point. All right. Salakia took too long. I figured, you know, I didn't get to go. I wanted to hit the highways and byways so bad today. All right. So, Lord willing, I'm out there tomorrow. And I figure I'll do a long video today, later in the night, after all this drama I was just going through, you know. But Lord willing, the point was made. The Wada Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah for resting upon me to make this lesson. All right, so with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakat Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, rule well. Blessings and salutations to the whole full elect that scattered abroad. The Akim and the Aquat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith, enduring as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. Shalom.